Okay, we are back. The last tutorial we did was about the skill tree. We are now coming outside to the coast. As you can see, the door that's used is that little orange door on the map. I've talked about attacking in place and how you can touch the skill, it'll pull up the pop up window. We've covered this, I just never physically showed it, but there it was. Now, the objective is to get from essentially one side of your map to the other. You're essentially finding another door. Um, Now, that's not always going to be the case. If you look at the quests to the right of your screen underneath the map, your mandatory quests that help you get through the campaign, your actual missions are going to be yellow. The top title of them will be yellow. So right now we have the Mercy mission, and we have to travel to the title island and find the medicine chest. So I suppose step one would be traveling to Title Island. As you can see, we are running around fighting everything in our path. Now, for me, I have Raised Zombie, and I am also using Arc. Excuse me. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm using Spark. And as you can see my general flow, I am changing up skills and changing their general direction. I'm sorry, changing where I want to place them because I'm trying to find something that's comfortable for me. So instead of using my auto attack, I replace my auto attack with the skill to walk. And my right click, I have, see, I just died. Oof. That's one of your first mini bosses. I don't really know if you could really refer to them as a mini boss. Uh, to make things a little more simple, there are different tier creatures that you can fight. If the creatures' names are white, they are common creatures. You can see their names by hovering over them when you fight them. Those are common creatures. If their names are blue, those are magic creatures. If their names are yellow, they are rare creatures. And if their names are like an orange to kind of gold, like brownish, pretty much, those are unique creatures. This rarity system also goes towards gear as well. So the idea is you're going to want more yellow gear than you will blue gear. But sometimes the yellow gear might not be exactly what it is you want to use. So sometimes blue gear might be a little more useful for you at that time. You just kind of figure it out as you go. Um, but white named creatures are going to be easier to kill than blue. Blue named creatures are going to be easier to kill than yellow, so on and so forth. Um, in this run, I am attacking enemies and they will leave corpses. And I will touch those corpses to turn them into zombies. We fought our first unique monster. As you can see, their name has this crazy border, and their color is this crazy kind of orange, brown, red. Um, he is the first one you will see like 100% of the time outside of your tutorial boss that you fight. And when you go to fight him, he will move extremely fast. He will summon fire from the sky, and your game point or your game plan essentially is to try to stay out of that ring of fire that he's constantly beating down on you and just dance around him and kill him. If he kills you one time, 200 times, whatever the case may be, it's all good. Just respawn back and kill him until he's actually dead and everything feels, a bit more comfortable, right? Just get the idea down of how the game plays. If you die, it's fine. You'll probably die, and I'm not even exaggerating, 1,000 times in your first playthrough, especially excuse me, if you don't usually play games like this, and especially if it's your first time doing it. I go to the options a lot. I'm really messing with the audio. I think at this time I was talking to some friends and I wanted to be able to hear what they were saying while also balancing out the game's audio. That's not something you have to worry about. That's just something that I was fooling around with a lot. So you'll notice that because of I brought it up in one of the earlier videos, I am using a loop filter. You will probably notice that because of that loop filter, it highlights specific drops, and they will be big, and they will be blue or green or red or something like that. You don't have to worry about it. Just pick up your gear and keep pushing. At this point, for this specific season, we have a league mechanic, and we are introduced to it early. The NPC for it, her name is Valerie. I want to get introduced to it because it's brand new. I speak to her. She has a boat beside her. I interact with the boat. It brings me onto the boat. We speak to her again because she has an exclamation mark above her head, meaning that she has a potential quest. And if you look over to the right side of our screen, it says Maiden Voyage. It is orange, and in uh, parentheses, it says optional. These orange quests are your league mechanic quests. You will interact with them to have access to the league mechanic happening and go from there. So, as you saw, I spoke with Valerie. She gave me a chart, and I took that chart and I put it into the little submarine that is hanging off of the boat. This is my first time doing this league mechanic, so I'm doing all of it pretty slowly because I did not watch any videos to figure out what it is you had to do ahead of time. So if you're new like me and you're seeing this for the first time, I will go ahead and break down essentially what it is you, I guess, are expected to do. So walking outside of that bubble, you see how the screen goes black. That means you are going to die. Get back inside the bubble. You cannot breathe underwater. The bubble is to give you air. At the way bottom of the screen, you see 6 out of 6, and underneath that, it says 3 out of 6. The 6 out of 6 are the amount of torches that you can place. Yeah, your lanterns. You place a lantern outside of the bubble or potentially inside, just at the edge of the inside if you do it inside, and it will expand the bubble, making the bubble much larger so that you can go deeper into the water without basically drowning. Um, During this time, they summon enemies. The enemies have chests. Kill the enemies, open the chest, collect some gear. So here I go interacting with the chest. See how that gear is orange. That is a unique. Um, Uniques are, remember, basically your legendary items. They're supposed to be very special. They come with very special traits attached to them, which can be super helpful for you. You can see that Iron Hat is yellow, meaning it's a rare, meaning it has better stats, and it can help me, so on, so forth, so on, so forth. As you can see, I ignored a good bit of gear because I did not want to go holding anything and everything. Usually, the general idea would be pick up as much as you can in the beginning so that you can sell it for materials later on. But I am also looking for gear that I think could be helpful for me. I'm still learning a little bit about the gear system with Path of Exile 1, but I am coming at it with a sort of mindset from other games like it. And because of that, I know that because I'm using a witch, I am going to hover over gear, gear that's unidentified, like the Iron Hat, and I will see what kind of qualities they have. And it will say something like unidentified, and then it will say something like armor, right? Well, a witch is blue. The blue defensive stat for the game is energy shield. So I'm not going to pick things that give armor or evasion rating, which is the green defensive stat. I'm going to go for things that are blue, which would be energy shield. Sometimes, if I feel like a piece of gear might have the chance of being better than what I have, even if it is not my base defensive stat. So, like, if I find an iron hat that is rare and my current hat is common or magic. So, in other words, if I find a hat that is yellow and my current hat is blue or white, then I'm going to try to go for that yellow hat. As you can see here, I die. And I drop everything. So I've lost everything that I had. The idea is supposed to be that when you land your very last lantern, so you have 6 out of 6, when you've landed your sixth lantern, you basically start running back to your first lantern. If you don't know where your first lantern is, your bubbles begin to close one by one. So the one that you're inside, when it starts closing, rush out of it and jump to the next one and keep running until you make it to the next one. You can open your overlay map to make your map larger so you can see a little bit more clearly, but it's kind of like a timer, right? It's like you're on an oxygen tank, and after you placed your last lantern, you're running out of oxygen. So, in order to keep yourself alive, you need to run to the nearest bubbles that you can. All right. At this point, I'm following Valerie's quest. I get to the point to where it says it's a golden one. It says the spirit flame taught to Valerie below decks on a sovereign. Here I am talking to her below decks. As you saw, there's a little orange door on the boat. That means that you can go to a new place. Um, on the boat, Valerie has some mechanic that I had no idea about because I was not listening to her. Uh, what you do is, as you can see, I'm hovering over to read it. She gives you something to craft with, which are these little orbs that you will pick up constantly throughout campaign. There's a handful of them you will pick up, so feel free to pick them up, go crazy. Take a piece of gear that you got from your boat, travel underground, underwater, or take a piece of gear that you're wearing, put it in a placeholder, put that crafting item in there too, and then boom, they give you two options. And you can choose either the option on the left or the option on the right. It's supposed to be a pretty interesting thing because in Path of Exile, when you use crafting materials, you don't have a choice on what it is you can craft on. It's completely random. But once you played long enough, or if you use third party resources like websites and such that are supposed to emulate the crafting experience, Path of Exile will make it so that you can kind of target what it is you want to do. And in this case, this new mechanic essentially makes it so that you can outright pick the specific thing you want on your gear when you craft. It can be super useful if there's something you specifically need in the game, but if you're not super focused on that and you don't really want to do anything with it, once again, this is a league mechanic, so that means you can completely ignore it. You use your waypoint, you travel back to the coast. That waypoint that you touched beside Valerie on the coast, when you travel back, you will be right beside the Tidal Island door. You come into the Tidal Island, and then you start killing monsters until one of them drops the medicine chest for your mercy mission. As you can see, I'm picking up gear, I'm checking the stats of the gear, trying to find things that work best with my character because I'm doing spells and I'm pretty much always going to be using spells. I'm using a lot of mana. At a certain point, I realize I don't have enough mana to keep using my spells freely, so I swapped my moving skill where I just walk and I don't fight. I swap that with my auto attack just in case. I keep my spark on my right click so that I can keep throwing it at enemies to fight them. And I put my summon zombies on my mouse 4 and mouse 5 because that is comfortable to me. As you can see, we have another unique enemy. We kill him. He drops a medicine chest. Congratulations, you have just finished the quest. Now, as you can see, the medicine chest is that giant chest. Um, the game also tells you this in tutorial, I'm pretty sure, but you might notice that I am hopping back and forth through town without using a waypoint. I have a town scroll. They are blue scrolls. So your red scrolls we talked about before, they're wisdom scrolls. They help you identify things. Your town scrolls are the blue scrolls. Those scrolls, when you use them, will open up a portal pretty much no matter where you are and let you teleport back to town if you are not near a waypoint. As you can see here, excuse me, I am looking through different support gems that are being offered through the quest. As you saw, or in your own game, as you will see, the little gray tag. One sec. The little gray tag that says support at the very top underneath the skill's name. Uh, as you know, support is the gem that amplifies or alters the ability of your main damaging gem. So when you hover over that support, it will show you off to the side what gems that it works with. They will have green check marks or red X's, like you see here. If they have a red X, then it does not work with that skill. If it has a green check mark, then it does work with that skill.